Welcome, everyone. I'm gonna be waiting a few minutes here while some people sign in. Welcome, everyone. We're going to be starting in just a few moments here as people start signing in. Good morning, Corona del Sol. All right, so. All right, we're going to wait just one more minute and then we're going to get started. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started now. Welcome to the, what is it? This is the fourth class, I believe. Yeah, fourth tips and tricks. I think it's still called 3 by mistake. Sorry about that if I confused anyone with tips and tricks number 3. It should be actually number 4. Yeah, so welcome. We're going to go ahead and get started. My voice is kind of not doing too well today. Probably going to keep this class a little bit short so I can save my voice. But sorry, I lost it last weekend, not the voice. So yeah, we've been seeing a lot of good progress on Teams lately. I think a lot of you managers are starting to get kind of comfortable with the team environment. Even though we have gotten pretty comfortable, there's some things we kind of want to review. I'm going to be answering a few questions. Excuse me. I'm going to be answering some questions and then I'm going to be going over some topics of my own first, real quick, and then I'll be answering some questions that you might have. Some that got left over from last week, we'll bring those up to make sure that we get everybody's questions answered. So Without further ado, I'm just going to jump in. So yeah, so I think a lot of us have gotten used to the fact that you have Dick James and Associates is your, the whole company location for file storage, right? And then your properties has a different team site, and in there you have your general tab, and that's where you do all your day-to-day communications, right? So I just want to make sure that this is clear to some managers, because some managers are still kind of struggling with it, but for the most part, we're on board. But yeah, Dick James and DJA Properties Incorporated team site. The general tab is what I have right here in front of me. This is where we discuss all of our company-wide announcements, changes in policy, procedures, posting of notices and stuff like that, reminders and whatnot for the whole company. Okay. We also have, so that would be one of the sites you have. If you have one other property, you would have another, like mine are all hidden down below here, but you would have your property's specific team site. And sorry again, my internet is lagging because of the broadcasting of this transmission. But yeah, so your property team site is a separate team, and you should have a general tab where you do all the communications on that second tab. Okay, so I'm just going to go over to a property here. I'm going to go to Blairmore. Why not? Pick on the people at Blairmore. I scroll down, and the first property that comes close to that is the one I pick. So yeah, I just want to remind everybody, looks like we're starting to get a good hang of the format here. You can see we have these conversation areas where we have the invoice for a specific move out is labeled here. Then we have the the documents for that move out. But really, people at Blairmore, keep in mind that we want to have these with the Excel move out, right? So you can see we have 135 here, the invoices and the documents, right? Which is good, right? But we also want the move out. See, I will send the move out to the tenant today. So I'm not sure where it is, but I believe it's up here higher. That move out, the actual move out that was done. So it was done a while ago, I guess. But what we want to do is, remember, we want to attach these documents, like the invoices and the lease documents. Sorry, my computer's running really slow. So we want the invoices, like this guy here, and the documents to be added as part of the conversation from that original move out. Okay, that original move out Excel workbook. Okay, so this is something that we're still kind of struggling with. We don't want to start new conversations on those specific files, right? We want to add those files as part of the conversation on the move out. Okay, so I'm going to give an example here, because I did go over this, but I kind of did it in a rush last week. So I'm going to go to Blairmore. I'm going to look for 135 Scott and look for their move out, and go to move out charges. I believe it's probably in the estimates here, probably in the finals now. So in our 135, we're going to look for 135 move out. So there it is, right? So this is our move out, right? This is our invoices, and I believe somewhere down here lower might be our lease documents for Scott. At least I don't see it, unless it's in a different location. Or maybe you mistitled it or something like that. So for example, I'm going to click on 135, the move out, and select that. Let's see if it's in there. Yeah. So you see how in here we don't have the lease documents. So we want to put the lease documents inside here. I see now. So and the invoices. So you originally called it doc, and now it's called move outs. But yeah, you changed the name on that. That's good. You changed the name. But we want to add those invoices as part of this conversation. Okay. So I'm gonna just get rid of that real quick. In that. So down here on the reply, what you want to do, managers at Blairmore, is you want to add the invoices into the conversation by doing attach. Okay, and we're not gonna go from our computer. We're gonna go from the. Remember, you want to upload the invoice first, the invoices, the scanned invoices for the move out, and browse teams and channels. Find your team. So we should already be there. This is, just make sure we're on the right team here. Yeah, Blairmore. So want to make sure I was on the right property, because sometimes I'm on the wrong property. So Blairmore, general, right? Move out charges, estimates, and then finals. So this is where you stored the invoices for apartment 135, right? So this is the location. I'm going to click it, and you can see there's two options here. When I click it, it asks me upload a copy or share a link, right? We never want to upload a copy, okay? That's not something we want to do. We should always do share the link, okay? So what that does, when I've selected the file, it adds it as an attached link to my message, and I can say, so I can now call Linda out and say at Linda, select Linda's name, say this have been, okay, this should have been attached here, okay? All right, and then that's, or you say, here are the invoices for this move out, right? But I'm giving you an idea of how it needs to be, how they need to be grouped together, okay? So I'm going to now send that, and now I'm going to go back to, as you can see, that's part of the conversation. When I switch back to, and I close this, go back to my conversations area, and look for this stream, which is the doc. Just give it a moment. My internet's kind of slow. By kinda, I mean really. Really slow. All right, so I'm going to go back to conversations for the Blairmore property. All right, and so there's really, it's actually move out. Remember, it was named improperly. So when it's named improperly, it stays named improperly. That's why files need to be named correctly right away, right? Right away, they have to be properly named. So there you go. You have, I'm going to expand this so we can see the whole conversation. And the conversation we just saw in the file area is here, right? And we have the document, the move out, right? And the invoices in one conversation thread, okay? We don't want them separate like this, right? Where it's in a completely different location, right? Yeah, it's not too hard to find, but this right here is how we keep these files and these ideas together, because 135 invoices are relating to 135 move out, okay? So we want those in the same place, okay? Yeah, so I hope that helps a lot of managers understand how when we go from an estimate to a final move out. When we send an estimate, we don't need invoices, right? But when we send a final, Linda wants all the invoices, right? And all the lease documents and everything in one PDF. You have to attach it to your conversation area for your original conversation on that original move out, okay? So I hope that answers the question on how those files are supposed to be attached to one another, okay? All right, I'm going to just double check here, see where we stand with any questions. I think I got a question come in a second ago. But yeah, go ahead and start posting questions if you have any. There were some from last week. I'm going to try to bring them back up. Sorry, I'm going to keep it short today because my voice is almost completely out. But I'm just going to switch back over here real quick. Yeah, sorry, Corona. I'm not sure what to do about this. I don't understand why I'm getting slow connection on your end. I understand it's blurry, but there's nothing I can do about it right now. Even though right now it might be blurry, don't worry about it too much. You can go later and watch the video again. Okay, so if it's blurry and constantly loading, just keep in mind that I am recording it, and maybe it's my connection that's really slow. I'm really not. Yeah, so keep in mind that you can always go forward, but there's still some managers a little confused about certain things. So I wanted to give everybody a quick heads up of where they can find information on YouTube of these videos. Now, in these conversation areas, you see we have the files there, but I'm going to show you on YouTube where you can find it if you really want to know. So you can see today, this is the live one from today. Okay. Okay, it looks like I lost everybody in the live stream. I'm going to try to reconnect here. Let's see if we're back on track. I'm going to try to reconnect here. Looks like everybody lost the connection, but you might just have to reconnect. Yeah, I can see you guys are seeing the same thing as I am. A lot of buffering and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know what to do about that. In any case, yeah, so you can go to type in DJ properties in YouTube and select the channel, which is the green D under DJ properties. And that's where you can watch all the videos that we've recorded this far so that you can get up to date on anything if you missed the first or two videos. Okay? Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, if there's any other questions besides the blurry screen, I'm gonna probably have to go offline because my voice is basically out today, and it looks like there's really no questions coming in. So we're probably gonna have to reconvene next week until we figure out these technical difficulties. But yeah, the big ones right now are the move outs. And there was one more I'm going to be putting out by the end of the day tomorrow, which is we're going to be putting out a new version of the fire inspection, the fire extinguisher inspection, the monthly inspection that you have to do. So keep in mind, yeah, you may not be able to open it or whatnot. I have a new version that I'm going to be setting out there for everybody to use in the next day or so. Okay, so keep in mind that that's going to be coming very soon. You need this month copy data over, and I'll probably walk you through. I'll probably give like instructions on how to copy information into the next version. I can show you real quick what it's going to look like, but we're actually adding a new subject to it as well for first aid kits, which we're going to start rolling out soon. That's not it. Those right here. Give me a moment. So the new fire extinguisher inspection form won't have those boxes, those boxes that say yes and no. Those boxes actually create a lot of problems for us. That's why you're not able to open the file or view it, or it says popping up with certain errors on this fire extinguisher. So we changed that. We got rid of yes and no, and now it's a drop down where you can select yes and no. And the current tags also says yes and no as well. So we're fixing that. We'll be putting that out by tomorrow, and you'll notice probably a new tab as well at the bottom here, which is a first aid kit inspection, which starting in June or July, I'm not sure yet the exact date, but we're going to start we're going to have first aid kits in all the offices, and those have to actually be maintained and inspected on a monthly basis. So yeah, let me jump back to Teams real quick. If there are any questions, please ask them real quick before I do head out for the day, because my voice is pretty bad. I'm going to double check online. And if there's nothing there, my question yesterday, can we reconfirm? Can we put the original invoice bill? Okay, yeah, this is a very good question from Priscilla. Thank you, Priscilla, for reminding me about the question. So, yesterday, Priscilla from Knollwood, she asked us, not Knollwood, excuse me, from Linwood, Linwood Terrace. Priscilla asked me a question about invoices. So, we know now that all of our invoices are being scanned into Teams, right? And we're mentioning the accountant, and the accountant is printing them out and storing them, right? So you don't need to send invoices. As long as you're doing it the way we're supposed to be doing in Teams, you don't really need to send the accountants the hard copy of the invoices anymore. They can just print them, right? And then the next question that kind of came up was, well, if the accountants don't really need us to send them the bills, the physical bill anymore, do we still need to copy them for our files in the office? And there's a yes and no answer to that. No, we don't need a copy of the invoice if it's just to keep in a vendor file. Though if you want to, you can keep track of it in a vendor file. But it is not a requirement in the office anymore. But if you have move-outs, right, which you need to save a copy for a move-out, which you can have a hard copy in your office somewhere, right? You're going to need those invoices that go with the move-out stored in the previous residence file, okay? So yes and no, okay? So no, you don't need it for a vendor file, but you do need it for move-outs, a copy of those invoices that you get from your vendors, either by mail or email, okay? But remember, everything lives in Teams now. All your documentation for the property should live within the team environment, okay? So keep in mind that yes and no, not for vendors, but yes for your move-out inspections. Very good question. Thank you, Priscilla, for reminding me on that one, because that was a very important issue we need to get out there. Let me just read another question real quick. You said Hashim from, I'm not sure what property, you said if we should scan all invoices and lease documents together, but I think the lease/tenant ledger are scanned separate from invoice docs. Yes, they are. So they are scanned separately. So I'm going to switch over to Microsoft Teams for DJA, our handy-dandy naming conventions file. Give it a moment to open up here. I'm just going to collapse the conversation area. Make this a little bigger for us to read. Let's do 125. Okay. So in the move-out charges area, we have three types of documentation here, okay? We have the move-out, right, which is the Excel workbook. Okay, the Excel workbook, all right? Then we have the doc file, which is your lease, right? Your tenant ledger, the move-in, move-out inspection checklist, those documents, those are your doc scanned files. So you're going to scan those into a PDF, and you send those with the move-outs, right? Then you have your invoices, which don't come in until the final version of your move out, right? Until you finalize your move out, you don't send invoices because Linda doesn't want them early. It causes too much confusion of version control and issues like that. So docs and invoices are actually two different things. We used to, back in the day, just scan them all into one file, but not anymore. So there's a reason. Thank you very much, Hashim, for reminding me about that, because I've been noticing that some people have been scanning them all together. So move-outs and docs go at the same time to Linda, right? Because they're part of the estimate process, right? But then the invoices come later once you finalized your move-out. Okay, so very good question, Hashim. Thank you very much. That was an awesome question that I've been noticing some managers have been missing. But yeah, documents and invoices are two different files. Okay, I'm going to switch back to Teams. It looks like there's nothing else on the live chat. I'm just going to go back to the conversation area real quick, see if there's any questions in that area. Otherwise, I'm going to call it a day. My voice is really rough today, so I need to kind of save my voice. But yeah, if you have any other questions, we'll have to review them next week. Thank you for logging in today. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties. I think it's possible that I was on the wrong network. I was on DJ Properties when I should have been on DJA network, whatever. And if your connection is any better now, I hope that I'll remember that for next time. So have a wonderful week, everyone. I will see you next time. Give me a call or text, or I prefer chat. If you have a personal thing, like you want to send me a text message, or if it has to do something with your file, just remember, mention me on a file if you have a question on a file, and I will respond through there as well. Okay? Alrighty. Have a good Thursday, everyone. Sorry, my voice is dying really fast on me today. But yeah, I'll see you all next time.